In radio and television, broadcast delay refers to the practice of intentionally delaying broadcast of live material. Usage. A short delay is often used to prevent profanity, bloopers, violence, or other undesirable material from making it to air, including more mundane problems such as technical malfunctions or coughing. In this instance, it is often referred to as a 7-second delay or profanity delay. Longer delays can also be introduced, often to allow a show to air at the same time for the local market, as is sometimes done with nationally broadcast programs in countries with multiple time zones. That can sometimes be simply achieved with a videotape recorder or similar technology. In the context of modern digital video recorders, this can now be considered a class of time shifting. In this instance, it is often called a tape delay or West Coast delay in the United States. So called because special events broadcast live in the Eastern or Central time zones of the U.S. are often tape delayed on the West Coast. This includes Southern California, despite the fact that Southern California is where many live televised events take place. Nationally telecast morning news shows in the U.S. typically are aired live only in the Eastern time zone, while on tape delay in the remaining time zones. This allows post-production staff to edit out any glitches that occurred during the live broadcast. Tape delay also refers to the process of broadcasting an event at a later scheduled time. This is because either a scheduling conflict prevents a live telecast, or a broadcaster seeks to maximize ratings by airing an event in a certain time slot. This can also be done due to time constraints where certain portions are edited out, or availability of hosts or other key production staff only at certain times of the day. For example, during the Sydney Olympics, daytime events were occurring at early morning hours in the Americas, Africa, and Europe. So some broadcasters showed high-profile events twice, while others withheld the same event to be broadcast solely during prime time. Sporting events aired on tape delay are often edited down for time considerations, highlighting what the broadcaster feels are the most interesting portions of the event, or advertising. History. The radio station WKAP in Allentown, Pennsylvania, introduced a tape delay system consisting of an external playback head, which was spaced far enough away from the record head to allow for a 6-second delay. A system of rollers guided the tape over the playback head before it wound up on the take-up reel. This system was introduced in 1952 when WKAP started a talk show called Open Mic. It is believed that this was the first time a telephone call-in show was broadcast with the telephone conversation live on the air. The FCC rules at the time prohibited the broadcasting of a live phone conversation. However, there was no rule prohibiting a taped playback of a phone call, provided that a beep tone was heard by the caller every 15 seconds so that the caller knew he was being recorded. The 6-second delay constituted a taped phone conversation, thus complying with FCC regulations, that being a legal fiction. The broadcast profanity delay was invented by C. Frank Cordaro, who was chief engineer of WKAP, originally on AM 1320, in Allentown, Pennsylvania, during the 1950s and early 1960s. Ogden Davies, then general manager of WKAP, assigned Cordaro the task to develop a device whereby profanity during a live conversation could be deleted by the radio talk show host before it was broadcast. This new device was to be used on the Open Mic radio talk show. The device Cordaro developed was the first tape delay system. WKAP was one of several stations owned by the Rattle brothers of West Virginia. First tested and used at WKAP, this tape system for broadcast Profanity Delay was then installed at the other Rattle-owned radio stations. For the Rattle brothers stations, the broadcast Profanity Delay went into common usage throughout the U.S. John Nebel, who began a pioneering radio talk show in New York City in 1954, was one of the early users of a tape delay system. Computerized delay. In 1977, the capacity of RAM had reached 16 kilobits per chip, enough to think about using computerized digital audio means to create a sufficient delay for content deletion. By storing audio digitally, it was possible to move a virtual tape head along recorded audio. Eventide, Inc. created the first digital broadcast delay for this purpose. The device had a large delay dump button that would bring the delay to zero, thus removing unwanted segments. In addition to this convenience, it would also rebuild the delay time by unnoticeably lengthening the normal pauses in spoken material. Thus, a minute or so later, the broadcaster would again have full delay, often leaving the listener unaware that material had been deleted. In modern systems, a profanity delay can be a software module manually operated by a broadcast technician that puts a short delay into the broadcast of live content. This gives the broadcaster time to censor the audio feed. This can be accomplished by cutting directly to a non-delayed feed, essentially jumping past the undesired moment. In other cases, dedicated hardware units similar to the original digital unit but with improved quality and editing capability can be used. These products can even build up delay with difficult program material such as music. Alternatively, a bleep noise or other substitute sound can be inserted. This is more difficult to do with live content, however, and more often appears on recorded material.